joining us today. We are talking with John, who hated scrambled eggs and now loves them. He's been in love with pralines and ice cream since the fourth grade. He looks like someone's brother, and his nickname is Silent Sam. He's taught Italian at a university and is a flair breakdancer. John once cut corn tassels in a research field and has unexpectedly jumped on stage to dance with the wedding singer. He wishes he was from Italy and has a cheese insecurity. He always buys more when he's afraid he's going to run out. But today he's going to share with us his trip to Croatia. So welcome, John. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and happy to be here.
That's great. So we're going to start our 7-minute timer and kind of get started. So can you just tell us why you chose Croatia? What drew you to that place?
I love Italy, but I've already been there so many times. And so I was looking for like another summer destination that had like a coastline vibe, just warm weather, a beautiful ocean. And at the same time, I wanted something that was a little different or exotic. So I could have gone to like Spain, which I did do on that trip, but I wanted something different, and I'd never been to Croatia. And Croatia has all of that pretty much that I was talking about, and it's not quite as commercialized as other parts of Europe. So there's still a bit of I don't know, that virgin feel to it of being somewhere that's not heavily commercialized with tourism. At least when I was there, it wasn't as commercialized as Italy or other, major European countries. So
and when were you
I
there,
love the water.
John? When were you there?
I was there 3 years ago. Yeah.
Okay.
So this was 2017.
Great. So how long were you in Croatia? And tell us about something that surprised you about the trip.
Something that surprised me about the trip, I was there for a week. So I started in Split, Croatia.
Okay.
And there were a group of us on a sailing trip. So we were on a boat for a week. And we just took this boat down the Croatian coastline, and we slept in it and ate in it and everything. And so we took it down for like 3 or 4 days, then turned around and came back up to Split. And that was the end of the trip. But something that surprised me was the old European, kind of like an old European feel to it. I mean, Europe today, any part of Europe today is gorgeous, but sometimes some of that feel that you sometimes see maybe like in old commercials or post World War II, drawings and things like that. There was still a bit of that feel. It was very like old style feel, even just meeting the people and everything. Like you go to I went to a church, and the church was just like full on a weekday and there's people coming out. Kind of like this old feeling of like, hey, like we still go to church and stuff.
Yeah.
And there's people there, some of the older generation like didn't have smartphones and
I love that.
yeah, so that's something that kind of surprised me, and something that I really enjoyed about it was you felt like you went back in time, maybe a few years. So
yeah, I actually felt that when I went to Cuba, and so I know exactly. It's like you feel like you stepped into a different era. Like you just walk into the area and you don't even feel like you're in 20 something.
No, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like 1950s or 1940s. And it's everything from like the way the architecture looks around you to, like you said, some people don't have smartphones or what they're wearing. And you just kind of get that feeling that you're in a whole different time period. That's pretty cool. That Croatia has that sense about it. So you said you took a boat ride on your trip. Now the Split. Can you tell me about the Split? I'm not familiar with that. Like, where is this that you?
Oh, so Split's a city on the northern part of Croatia. Between like Split and Dubrovnik are the two major cities, and also like major tourist destinations, really. So generally a lot of those types of sailing trips either start in Dubrovnik, go to Split and come back, or vice versa, start in Split, go to Dubrovnik and come back.
And was that the bulk of your time in Croatia was on the boat, or did you spend more time there?
that was all of my time in Croatia was on this boat and
Okay.
stopping. We stopped into harbors and we really felt like pirates, you know, it was like, we're coming into a harbor and we just all went nuts. And
Oh,
yeah,
that's
we
amazing.
get off in the harbor and you'd have like 3 hours to grab dinner and have some fun and stuff. And the next day, sometimes like the next morning, like you'd wake up and the boat was moving again, like they'd leave really early in the morning. Or sometimes, you know, we'd leave after breakfast and then keep going. And we'd stop at little swimming places along the way or islands and things like that. I'm a swimmer. I love to swim. I almost got left behind once on the trip because we stopped at this bay and there were some like yachts in the bay with us and everything. And I love to swim. So I was like, man, I got to get off this boat. And I just jumped in the water and just started swimming as far as I could. And I swam to the other end of the bay. I was chatting with some people on the beach, kind of lost track of time. And then I jumped back in the water, started swimming back, and then ended up on someone's yacht. You know, they're like, hey, come up here and have some wine with us. I was like, go ahead, jump out of the water and like hanging out with them. And anyway, somehow I got the feeling that I should go back, and I went back and they were like, we almost sent a boat out to look for you because we thought that we'd lost you. And I was like, well, we're not leaving till like 2. And they're like, yeah, but we changed the schedule and we were going to leave it early at 1. And obviously I didn't have a smartphone on me because I'm swimming everywhere. Yeah, I've got like my swimming trunks and like, that's it. I don't even have a t-shirt or anything. And I'm just roaming around the bay, you know, and on people's yachts and stuff like that, or on the beach. Anyway, so that was a whole nother story in itself, but
I love that story.
Oh, that's fabulous. I love that. You mentioned food a little bit. So tell us about the food.
We have to squeeze that in.
Yeah, we have to squeeze in the food. Cindy and I love hearing about the foods. So what did you eat? What was some highlights? I don't know anything about what you can eat there in Croatia.
So the food was very kind of, I guess, like had the mom and pop feel to it. You know, we'd have like some potatoes and some type of roast meat, and it was very well seasoned. And then they had there's like a liquor from Croatia that's it's got like spices in it and stuff. Sorry, I'm trying to bring it back to mind, even the name of it. But anyway, so I'm going to be really honest with you. I didn't really savor so much the food. I didn't notice anything that really stood out. It was good food. On the sailing trip, we also had our own chef, and he kind of cooked us different types of food. But I remember more of the adventure and like almost dying and things like that. So I know a lot of people do travel for food, and it's great and everything. And I'll definitely notice a good meal when I've had one. But I'm more into like spirits, and I tend to remember spirits. But Croatia has its own type of like, they had this liqueur that was very strong and had a lot of kind of like Jaeger pretty much. And the name of it's not coming to me, but
that's okay. When it comes to you, we'll put it in the descriptions. We'll add it for sure. And we hit our 7 minutes. I hate to like cut you off, John, because this is great. I love the adventure part of the story. And, you know, I have a water boat fascination as well. So when you're talking about I would love to do that, but I never thought I might get off the boat and then people would leave me. So now I have a new fear to add to my trip. Like, don't leave the boat without telling people where you're going because you don't have a smartphone. So, I can't even imagine being stranded somewhere in Croatia with just your, you know, what you're wearing swimming, right? Like, I don't have a phone. I don't have a shirt.
No credit card. It would have been an interesting, that would have been like a book in itself.
Yeah, exactly.
There we would have had an hour interview with you, John. So thank you so much for sharing your story, John. We have a new question and answer series that April and I are answering your travel questions. So check our description below for the link to ask us questions or leave us a comment. And thanks, John, for joining us and travel with us through real stories from real people.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, John.